Congratulations, seniors. You made it to your final semester of high school. Even though we're still in the middle of winter, I'm sure a lot of you are finalizing plans for the fall, and for many of you, that involves college. For most families, trying to figure out how to pay for college brings a lot of stress. I'm going to take a few minutes today to explain how you can apply for scholarships and specifically how to apply for Hempstead scholarships. There are several scholarships awarded every year. Only Hempstead students are able to apply, but you will only be eligible if you complete a consideration sheet. The document will be attached to this email for you to download, and you can also pick up a paper copy in the counseling office. Looking at the document, I want to point out a few things. Number one, please note the due date. All forms must be returned by the end of the day, Wednesday, March 2nd. They can either be returned to the counseling office or you can email them to me. My contact information is on the screen. Number two, please fill in each of the fields to the best of your ability. Some scholarships are awarded based on your intended major or where you plan to attend college. If you aren't sure what or where you plan to study, please just give your best guess at this time. We know that not everyone has taken the ACT or SAT, so if that's your situation, just go ahead and leave that spot blank. You may or may not have a lot to write in these sections. If you don't have anything to write, then just leave the section blank. And if you do have a lot to write, you may want to attach additional pages. Same thing with the career activities. If you don't have anything to put in the section, then just leave it blank. As far as other scholarships are concerned, please only list the scholarships you know for a fact you will be receiving. If you've applied for some but haven't heard back yet, you do not need to list them in this section. When you tell us why you should be considered for a Hempstead scholarship, you do not need to put down that you need the money. We are going to assume that everyone who returns a form needs the money. Instead, tell us what qualities you have that set you apart from others. Also, knowing that many people have suffered through the pandemic, if your financial situation has changed in the past couple of years, this would be a good spot to indicate that. Once you have completed and submitted the consideration sheet to the counseling office, you can keep searching for scholarships on our website. So switching to the website, if you go to the Hempstead webpage, if you hover over students and then click on counseling office, since we're talking about college, we're going to click on career and college planning, and then we're going to scroll down to these black boxes here. These tabs all have scholarship information you may want to take a look at. Clicking on the 12th grade local scholarships, you can see how they're organized. First of all, scholarships are listed by due date, so if you only have a limited amount of time, always start from the top. As you can see, the name of the scholarship is listed as well as the due date, who can apply, how much the scholarship is worth, and how you access the scholarship. There will either be a PDF, a Word document, or a link to the scholarship's website. There are a few scholarships that I want to point out specifically. Getting down to the March scholarships, for instance, we've got the Ruprecht Family STEM Scholarship, the Sandra L. Beisker Scholarship. You can see that these will be awarded to a Hempstead student. That has been indicated there. But in addition to completing the consideration sheet, there's an additional application. So for example, if you feel you qualify for the Ruprecht Scholarship, you would then download the file. You'll open it up, answer the questions, and then you would submit this with your consideration sheet. Both parts would need to be submitted in order to be eligible. So as I said, we've indicated which of these scholarships will for sure go to Hempstead students in the comment section. So if you're short on time and you meet the qualifications, you may want to prioritize applying for these simply because the competition pool is smaller. Going down a little further, I want to show you a few more. The class of 74 and 75 scholarship are specifically for students with GPAs in the middle ranges. Sometimes families think that students have to be at the top of the class in order to be eligible for scholarships. So I wanted to point out that this simply is not the case. One's a 2-point to a 3-point, one's a 2 to a 3.3. So for example, if you have a 2.7, you would be eligible to apply for both, and I encourage you to do so. Again, please note that these have additional application materials that can be downloaded from the website. Beyond the local scholarships, national scholarships are also listed. You'll see that the format is the same. Often the dollar amount, though, is higher with national scholarships, but the competition pool is also larger, so keep that in mind as you are determining the best way to spend your time as you're applying for scholarships. And then finally, the scholarships website tab takes you to several scholarship search engines. In general, you'll create a profile, and then they use that profile to search the millions of scholarships that are in the database and then eliminate the ones that for sure are not a fit. So for example, if you plan to be a Spanish major, you would complete your profile, and then it won't show you a scholarship that requires you to be studying elementary education. Depending on how much time you have, these can be good resources. Okay, so how do you know if you were selected for a Hempstead Scholarship? Senior Awards Night will be Monday, May 16th. If you are being honored, you will receive an invitation in early May. We do not receive any specifics about which award or awards you are receiving prior to that evening, but you can be confident that if you receive an invitation that you will be recognized. Here are a few tips to increase the likelihood that you will be awarded a scholarship. Number one, submit a neat application. The committee members are literally reading hundreds of applications, so you want to make it easy for them to see all of your accomplishments. In order to keep it neat, feel free to type your application if you would like. If you do handwrite your form, please use blue or black ink because it does photocopy the best. If you're a student that already has a resume that lists your school and community activities, leadership positions, etc., you are welcome to simply attach that to your application. You don't have to complete it in exactly the same format we have on the consideration sheet. As long as the same information is there, that's fine. If you're adding additional pages, please use a paperclip to put them together. Do not staple them. I know it sounds silly, but it's much easier to put the documents through the copy machine if they are not stapled together. And then very importantly, if you are selected, a copy of your form will be sent to whoever is providing the money for the scholarship. There have been years where we on the committee knew that a student would be the perfect candidate, but what they wrote on the consideration sheet was of poor quality, so we selected someone else. This is not the time to try to be funny or to forget everything that you have learned in English class. So please make sure that you're capitalizing the first letter of a sentence, that you're spelling words correctly, using complete sentences, things like that. Even though the people on the committee will know you personally, the sponsoring organization will not. All they will know about you is what they read. And so it's very important to put in the time to make a good impression. We know that we have amazing kids here at Hempstead, and we want them to know that as well. So please put some effort into what you're writing. Finally, a few reminders as you finish your senior year and plan for college. Make sure to complete the FAFSA if you've not done that already. In addition, check with the college you plan to attend for scholarships. Generally, that is where students get the largest amount of scholarship money. And set aside some time on a regular basis to apply for scholarships. Even if you only have an hour or two a week, that time does add up, and hopefully the money will too. And as always, if you ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your school counselor. Thanks for listening, and best of luck as you finish high school and get ready to take that next step.